It's a Monday. We're back at it, and our back-to-school countdown begins. 16 days until the kids are back, and we've got some thunderstorms in the area. Nothing severe, but a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning, booming and banging, and a little bit of a light show this morning. Hope you had a great weekend. We're back at it for a Monday. Coming up on the show today, so what happens now? I guess talks fell apart Friday between Canada and the United States, and apparently we're in an all-out, full-fledged, knockdown, drag-out trade war. Oh, my God, it's so complicated. So many lies. There's so many mistruths. Your buddy Tyler will try and boil it down as best I can, and we'll discuss briefly this morning. Won't spend a ton of time on it, but it will be affecting some local producers in a big way, and we're going to take you to an Ethelbert Honey Farm. Ethelbert Honey Farm. They call this Cheap Flight Week because summer's wrapping up, and airlines want to make sure that the money keeps flowing in. Is this the week that you should be booking your winter travel or maybe your Christmas vacation? With kids going back to school, we've got U.S. kids that are already back, and we've got U.S. college students, of which we have a lot in southwestern Manitoba that will go to UND, Jamestown, Minot State. They all start this week. And in the coming days, everybody will be back. But you know what? It's really back to school week after the September long weekend up here for high school, university, and college kids even. And there is this new trend happening online called empty nest parties. If my kids ever decided to do this, I would be upset. It's touching. It's too touching. Have you seen them? We'll take a look. Empty nest parties. They're adorable. Are we going to have a lunar eclipse this week? We'll take a look at that. The World Humanoid Robot Games. Did you know this was even going on in China? Have you seen this stuff? Move over, Olympics. These are robots, and they're doing everything they do at the Olympics. They might as well call them the robotic Olympics. They're boxing, they're high jumping, they're running, and they're good for the most part. They run faster than your average sprinter, but when it comes to stopping, it's still a problem. They're still challenged there. It's kind of like me in ice skating. I can get going, and then a skiing is the same way. I can get going, but oh shit, I gotta stop. Who said I had to stop? Oh, no, I can't stop. Okay, there it is. Our back-to-school countdown is on your screen. 16 days, 1 hour, and 55 minutes. The countdown is on, moms and dads. We are into the red zone now. Just over 2 weeks to go until the summer vacation is officially over. Thunderstorms in our area today. You can see on the radar there a little bit of moisture moving through the area. Again, nothing severe. So just some booming and banging and a little bit of a light chill. High of 27 degrees today. Our normal's still 24. A little cooler tomorrow at 22. We'll see 24 on Wednesday as the sun comes back. And ending the week with some beautiful temperatures. 23 on Thursday, 25 on Friday. Just a really, really nice August. Not too hot, not too cold, just the way Goldilocks likes it. So there you have it. That is the week's weather, and back to school countdown is on. Hopefully you got some of that back to school shopping done over the weekend. If not, you still have a little bit of time, and at the same time get your Halloween candies and maybe start your Christmas shopping. Yeah, they roll it all into one, and while you're holding a cup of pumpkin spice coffee to boot. Anyway, we are live streaming on all platforms as we always do for each and every show. We're on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, X, and we move over to the Twitch platform exclusively for hour 2 of the show. You can lurk in by watching and listening at tylerglenshow.com. And again, there is an audio version of the show that is available for download at tylerglenshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And on Friday, we were taking a look at some of the numbers for this spring and summer, and oh my God, it's been tremendous. We have seen some real big increases in the podcast numbers. Not exactly sure why. I think that maybe more folks are just, they can't spend the entire 2 hours with us, and that's okay. I want to see what's going on, and really, we take the full 2 hours and kind of distill it into the best 30 minutes. And so we guarantee we won't be wasting your time. It's 30 minutes or less. And, boy, a lot of people are downloading that. So thank you very much for doing that. And thank you for watching the show. And thank you for participating. Again, everyone gets to participate until hour 2. Then it's just for the Twitch people. But we will talk a little bit on tariffs, what happens next, what this means to you. It is serious. It's serious, but the house is not on fire yet, and there's some good news to mix into this. And I'll tell you, I've spent some time over the weekend thinking about how I would approach this topic, because it is serious, and it is not a time to panic in serious instances. We will touch on it. We'll touch on what it means for you and your family, and what happens next, where we go from here. And I think before we get to our good mornings, I do want you to be aware that this whole tariff situation and the trade war is an incredibly complicated story. And there are instances where both sides can be right at the same time, okay? And because it's a trade agreement on top of trade agreements in front of trade agreements, it's incredibly complicated. And we don't live in that kind of world anymore. We live in a TikTok, yellow light, green light, red light world. People just want 2 or 3 words. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Who am I cheering for? Who am I cheering against? And it's so much more complicated than that. And so be very careful on your news sources. Be very careful where you get your information from. And the social media sphere, I can't believe I'm saying this again, but it's full of junk on both sides. It's just stuff that's just completely inaccurate. And I'm not about that. I want to make it basic. I want to be as truthful as I can to tell you the facts as I know it. Then you decide what you're going to think. All right? Okay. So let's take a look at who we got to say good morning to. Hello, good morning. And hopefully you survived the weekend okay. I was in Winnipeg. I had a baby shower for my nephew, Braden and Talia. Oh, it was great. I'll have a few pictures of you on my Facebook to share with you a little bit later. There's a baby coming. A baby. And my mom's birthday, so it was a big one. And, of course, we had the Highly Suspect show at Skydancer. Ryan sent me some pictures. We'll share those with you with the good thing coming up in just a second. But first, let's see who we've got to say good morning to on this Monday. Road Reverend and Tosh get things going over on Twitch this morning. We've got Colin, Ryan, and Tony on TikTok, along with Anthony. I guess Anthony and Tony. Jimmy is here, too. We've also got Jimmy and Johnny. Jimmy and Johnny. Patricia Ann is here on Twitch. Richard's over on Facebook. Bernice is here on Twitch, and Molly is here, too. Molly says, yo, back full time, but yo. MJ is here too. Happy day to you, MJ. Quentin is here on Twitch. Janine is over on Facebook. Have a great week, everybody. Cindy's here, too. Rachel Zarn is over on Facebook. Cindy is on Twitch. Mike is here on TikTok. George is over on TikTok as well, along with Manny. Tracy Rogers here on Twitch. Rachel Zarn is over on Facebook. Michelle says, good morning, everybody, over on the Twitch. MJ says, it's my birthday today. What is this? Woohoo! Let's get the party started. Well, why didn't you say so? All right, you know what we do around here when it's somebody's birthday. The celebration sombrero comes out. Let's do that. I'm all disorganized. Hang on a second. Happy birthday, MJ. MJ is 21 today, 21 years old. Let's pretend 21 for MJ. Happy birthday to you. Here we go. Happy birthday, MJ. I bet you were celebrating at the Carberry Street Party. Was a good weekend for that, hey? Oh, hope I'm seeing some pictures of that sent in for a good thing. I wished I could have been there. That would have been, I can't be in two places at one time. But a happy birthday, MJ. And Tracy is wishing you, everybody's wishing you a happy birthday. 21 years old today, just a young gal, 21. Everyone in the Beach House Beach Bunger is 21. When you celebrate a birthday, well, unless you're, really up there, then you're 40. Trevor Tuck is over on TikTok. Delilah's here on TikTok. Loretta's over on Facebook. Jody's on Facebook. Renee Dedeli is on Facebook. Good morning, Jody, Loretta, and Renee. And good morning to you. Kim Mulchick is over on the Facebook, too. Lots of thunder and lightning happening where Kim is. Chantel is over on TikTok. Good morning, Chantel. And good morning, Patricia, too. Happy birthday, MJ. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, John Milkey. Hey, on Facebook. Well done. Hey, it's nice to see you, John. John is in Ottawa. Nice to see you, John. Hope all is well over where you are. And you're having... Ottawa was on the show last week with that Skip the... it wasn't Skip the Dishes. The Uber Eats story of the gal. Ooh, that was a crazy one. That was a crazy story. Hope all is good out in Ontario there. Cindy's off to Winnipeg. Oh, yes, I left it all intact there for you, and the city is just fine, just left the way it was, and I don't have much to report. Other than the weather was good and mosquitoes weren't bad. Mosquitoes in Winnipeg. Your mosquito report from Winnipeg. It was not bad at all. But they Saturday night we were sitting in my sister's backyard, and there was helicopters, police helicopters, all around the area. They were just like it's just like, what are we living in Texas? Is this the American border? Like, is this immigration? What is happening? So there must have been lots of crimes being committed in North Winnipeg because the choppers were out and we were waving to them and mooning them and giving them the said, no, we didn't do that. Actually, it's not true. There's no proof of that. There's no proof. Katie 4380 is here. Good morning. Happy birthday to MJ, of course. And MJ is excited to be 21 again, second time around, and says the Prairie Harvest Festival was amazing. Of course it was. You promoted it very well. The town came together. It was just like on The Grinch That Stole Christmas. They all held hands, and they sang, and they cheered, and they got sunburned, and they drank beer. That's just the way you do it in Carberry, and I want to see pictures. I want to see pictures. Oh, man. Darren is over on TikTok. Also, Wayne is here. Good morning. You're welcome. You're welcome, MJ. Have a great day. Have a great day. Trev is over on the Facebook. Oh, John is in New Brunswick for the summer. Well, that's fantastic. God's country out there. Oh, get that ocean air in your nostrils. So I'd love to get out. Never been to New Brunswick. Never done the East Coast. That's where the good people are, John. You know that already. I'm telling you something you already know. The Newfies. You go a little further, the Newfies. Woo! Want to find some crazy fun? Get to the Rock. That's where that's the Newfies and the Manitobans. We have an exchange program. We exchange citizens all the time, and they just, everybody fits in. Manitobans fit in Newfoundland just like no problem, and vice versa, because we're crazy. We're just crazy people that like to have fun and kitchen parties. The kitchen parties, kissing fish, kissing the cod, drinking the rum. It's all fun. We're scattered all over the place. Loretta's in Lethbridge on holidays right now, still wrapping up holidays. I can see that lots of folks wrapping things up. We got 16 days to go until the kids are back in school, so it stands to reason that everybody's kind of wrapping things up, and we've got a couple weekends to go until September long weekend, but we all love this time of year. I think we can all be in agreement. I mean, everything's in full bloom. We've got farmers markets all over the place, fresh fruit and vegetables grown right here. It's just awesome. Football is back on TV. Oh, I'm cooking steaks, smoking meat, eating fresh food, watching football. The weather is good. Life is good. And then we got a trade war. What the heck is going on? Oh, I've got some fun stuff to talk about there. Richard, what are you doing jumping around platforms? Now he's over on TikTok. Oh, my gosh. Tosh says, Tyler is New Brunswick's people are just like the Newfies. Loud and rowdy and lots of fun. I would think so. East Coasters. I call them East Coasters. Well, really, I shouldn't, because it sounds like something you put your drink on. Hey, can you hand me an East Coaster? I need to make sure that I don't damage my coffee table. So hand me an East Coaster. Okay, we're going to do yesterday's good thing here in just a second. Just a quick housekeeping reminder that Leon's is closed a couple of days this week. Yes, August 25th and 26th, and this does not happen in the middle of the week. August 25th and 26th, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, Leon's will be closed. They're repricing the entire store for what could be the biggest sale of the year. So big, yours truly will be on location there from 1 till 3 on Thursday for the grand reopening. Now, the doors open at noon. I'll be there at 1. I can't take the huge crowds. It'll be huge. It'll be massive. People will be lined up because they want to have the best selection of the markdowns. The best deals of the year. It's Leon's Furniture's giant clearance sale, 3635 Victoria Avenue in Brandon, and it all starts this Thursday. Once again, congratulations to Ryan and Aaron, who won tickets to see Highly Suspect this past weekend at Skydancer, and Ryan sent me some pictures of the show. Congratulations to you both. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the show and you guys made it down there. It's always fantastic. Outdoor concert, and probably the last outdoor show of the year, I'm thinking. Things start to cool down. So look at that. Highly Suspect rocking out. What a great stage there. And this was taken a little bit earlier. Good crowd. Beautiful outside. The weather was just absolutely fantastic. Oh, man. Congratulations, Ryan and Aaron. That's my little map to get down there. I am glad you guys enjoyed the show. He's even got a little video here. I got to make sure the sound is off so I don't get pinched. There they are, rocking and rolling. Highly Suspect at the Skydancer Outdoor Show. We saw Gretchen Wilson 4th of July weekend. Josh Turner will be performing this November, and we will have tickets to give away, and we will also be part of that show. That will be an indoor show, obviously, because an outdoor show in November is not a good idea. But the event center is just a fantastic place to catch a concert. Again, Highly Suspect took to the stage this past weekend, and next up on the agenda is Josh Turner. For all the latest happenings, including the water park, the trampoline park, and more, visit SkydancerCasino.com. And Co-ops of Westman, Heritage Co-op, Boundary Co-op, and Valley View Co-op, the Co-op Big Deal this week. We do that every Thursday where we give you a sneak peek as to what's coming up in the flyer. And if you're looking for something for your smoker, you're going to want to pick up the brisket this week. Whole brisket on for $6.49 a pound. They've got big bags of mini cucumbers, big bags of small stuff. The gigantic sale is on, and that means they've got giant bags of mini cucumbers at $4.99. And you've got Coke and Pepsi products on sale for just $12.99 each. You can link up to the flyer direct through my website at tylerglenshow.com. Click on the co-op logo, put in your postal code, and the flyer automatically pops up, and it pops up for your co-op, so due to your postal code. So that way you get the most accurate pricing for the co-op nearest you. This is brought to you by Heritage Co-op, Boundary Co-op, and Valley View Co-op. All right, it is time for yesterday's good thing, and of course, this takes in everything from the weekend as well. So whatever you had going on over the weekend, it's time to share. Send those pictures from Carberry. I want to see what was happening in Carberry, what was going on, what is happening, here. Cindy, what did you send? You sent me a picture, and I'm not sure, and then she took off to Winnipeg. And I'm not sure what I'm looking at here, Cindy. You got to help me out. This is my nephew, Braden, and his beautiful girlfriend, Talia. And they had their baby shower over the weekend, so we were in Winnipeg to celebrate these two and have some food and enjoy some stuff and enjoy some family time. It's been so long since the entire big family on my side has gotten together. It was a chance to get the big picture taken. I think the last time we all got a picture like this, I think it was pre-COVID, so it'd be almost 10 years. Almost 10 years since we got everybody from my mom and dad's family together. So you can see my nephews there, my niece, my sister, my family, of course, and my mom and dad are in the front. So it was good to get everybody back together, get the band all together. It just doesn't happen. I mean, God, if it's been 10 years since the last time. And the ironic part is that we're all in Manitoba. Like, all of us are in Manitoba. It's just so hard. Everybody's got busy lives. Everybody's got stuff going on. MJ said that didn't get much from the Harvest Festival, but they have their Facebook page. Oh, okay. I might have to check that out. But here are the kids. They've got some face painting going on there. And there is somebody making an ass of himself on Main Street in Carberry. And it's not me. Usually it's Tyler making an ass of himself. No, this is an actual ass on the street in Carberry. And there's some folks checking out the festivities, the Bubble Man, the blowing bubbles, music people. And that was the poster that we shared last week. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Ooh, Tosh is cooking up a little bit of fried chicken and some nudies. Nice. Very good. Very good. What else was going on? Thanks, Tracy Roger. Thank you, MJ. Jody said, had my little great niece come for a visit, had to get a new phone, and getting ready for our downsizing garage sale in September. Oh, that's awesome. It's going to be so nice to downsize, clean things up, get right sizing. I call it right sizing. It doesn't sound so, no one wants to be moving down. You want to be moving up. So you're just right sizing, putting things in the rightful place. And that means just less stuff. Loretta's good thing from the weekend. They had a great time camping in the mountains. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. That's great. Little bit of camping this past weekend. Molly's GT on Thursday after work. I got a big bunch of weights, then went on a 10-mile bike ride. She's training for the Iron Woman competition. Holy cow, look at you go. And then chatted with a friend online you hadn't talked to in a couple of years, then played some games. And then on Saturday, just socializing and exercising. You're living your best life, Molly. That's what it's all about, socializing and exercising. I like the socializing part. The exercising part, if I'm going to work those two things in together, I'll walk to go see a friend. That's as exercise as I get. And it's only because he said, I have cold beer in my fridge. Well, I better walk over there. It's probably best to walk and not drive, considering he's got cold beer in his fridge. MJ says it's a small committee, no real photography. That's next year's goal. I didn't even get to see the Bobble Man. He was very popular. The Legion was packed. Well, thank you for that report, MJ. But I want pictures. Yeah, next year we need to get a photographer. What happens if I just type in Carberry? What happens? Oh my gosh. Carberry Street Fair. Cindy said, cater to friend's wedding. My beautiful daughter was in. Oh, she was in the wedding party. That's what's going on. Okay, look at that. Very nice. I can hear the Toonchick music from here. Toonchick, 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 Toonchick. Receiving line, best part of the wedding. Oh, yeah, that'll get them rocking and rolling. Good-looking group right there. Good-looking group. Cheryl says her GT from the weekend, good thing, was went to a couple of farmers markets. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that just fantastic? Picked up some cucumbers and tomatoes, BLTs for lunch. How's the tomatoes coming along? I keep asking this. Like cucumbers, I'm seeing everywhere. Tomatoes, not so much. Wow, it is. We're around on the corner towards the end of August, and can we call it? Can we just say that the tomato crop is kind of not where it needs to be this year? Because I am not seeing a lot of tomatoes, but boy, I'm seeing a lot of cucumbers. Are you seeing a lot of other stuff at the farmers markets for fruit and vegetables? Any particular fruit and vegetables you're seeing? Came across this over the weekend, too. Has anybody actually eaten this yet? I have not seen it yet. Like myself in the store, somebody had sent this to me. But this is Kraft Dinner, 18 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber. That's incredible. That's like, I don't know what to say. That's like 2 chicken breasts in a box of KD, and plus there's fiber. What are they doing? What does this even taste like? And this is not stateside. This is here. I can tell because the government has these stupid labels on everything now, which I've realized is really kind of dumb. Like, I'm buying, sometimes when I buy presents for people, I like to buy them treats like candy bars or chips. And now they all have these warnings on them. So when you try and give somebody, say, a box of KD, say, hey, happy birthday, MJ. I don't know if she likes KD or not. But and she'd think that's a nice gift. And then she'd open the present and see that there's KD inside and go, oh, is he trying to kill me? It's high in sodium. Oh, is he trying to kill me? It's high in fat. Because everything that's kind of junk foodie has got these warnings on them now, like cigarettes. I don't like it. I know that if I eat mac and cheese every day, I'm going to have a butt the size of the piano, but that doesn't matter. Let me do it. I don't need the government warning me. Come on now. Come on. Let me enjoy my KD in peace. So I'm going to have to come up with some kind of sticker to put. Remember when cigarette packages had that and people would put those funny stickers over top? We're going to have to do that with the food, too. Anyway, thank you for your good things. Glad to see you had a great weekend. We're going to talk about what this trade war means to you and why I don't think it's sky is falling all quite yet. But, boy, if you put the Canadian media on this weekend, you would think that that's the case. This is serious. We'll talk about it. We'll boil it down. We'll give you the Coles Notes version of what's happening.
Good morning, Sun Seekers!
And then we will get on with it, because that's what we got to do. We got to soldier on. We're going to go to a place called Puerto del Carmen in Spain for our beach break today. And it's Monday. So get your trunks and get your sandals on. Let's have our first beach break of the morning. We'll be back with more in just a bit.
Good morning, Sun Seekers! It's Monday. Let's make this week great. It's Monday. week great. It's Monday, let's make this week great. It's Monday, let's make this week great. It's Monday, let's make this week great. Let's go together. Good morning, son. Good morning, son. Good morning, son. It's Monday. It's Monday. Good morning, son. Good morning, son. Good morning, son. It's Monday. It's Monday. Seekers. It's Monday. Let's make this week great. 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 Let's go together. Squeakers!
Sunseekers, yeah, that is a beautiful shot, isn't that, MJ? Oh, the water looks fantastic. We won't have sunshine to start the day today. In fact, we do have a mostly cloudy sky and some thunderstorms that are kind of rolling through the area as we head back on this Monday. We're at 17 degrees, and we are expecting a high very close to normal for this time of year. 16 days until back to school. Yes, our back to school countdown is on. 16 days, 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 30 seconds right now. And the kids will be back. Our forecast is looking pretty good for the week, all in all. Mostly sunshine. We start out a little bit soggy. 27 degrees with a chance of showers today. Tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 22, but really kind of nice. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So those overnight lows not too bad either. Could be a lot cooler for this time of year as we slide closer to that first day of school. Molly wants to know about Christmas. Well, if you have been to Hobby Lobby, you know Christmas has arrived already, hey? Have you ever been to Hobby Lobby, Molly? That's a mouthful. Go to Hobby Lobby, Molly. Hobby Lobby, Molly. And check out the Christmas trees. And I think Michael's on this side of the border has probably got it all Christmas-sized, too. Actually, a lot of the department stores, like as in the Walmarts and so on, they've got it in the back there if you look. They've got the Halloween stuff and the Christmas stuff. That's what fall's all about. It's just like one big season. So we were supposed to have some good news this morning that the tensions between Canada and the United States had cooled down. There was supposed to be a trade deal that was agreed to on Friday. It was an extension on the earlier. It was an extension that was provided based on earlier tariffs that got missed because of a last-minute change in the deal. So I had a lot of messages over the weekend from people wanting to know what this means, how bad is this, what happens next, and I purposefully did not respond. I figured that I would talk a little bit about it just briefly on the show today because I want to keep it as basic as I can. As I said earlier this morning, guys, this is very complicated. This is a complicated situation. These trade deals are massive. And the big one, the CUSMA, the USMCA, the big trade deal, that is off in the distance. And if we don't get this problem solved, we can't get to the next level of the video game, which is the big one. That's the big trade deal. So just to back up a little bit, the president, I believe, enacted a whole bunch of new tariffs basically on 5%, very small amount of U.S. imports from Canada to get us back to the table. We were dragging our feet. We were kind of ignoring the Americans. They were dealing with Mexico, and we weren't really doing anything. And so if you've ever been part of a toxic friendship or a toxic relationship of any kind, sometimes a person will poke you to get your attention again, kind of like on the playground where a little boy that likes a little girl will pull their ponytails. Remember that? Remember that fun? That's what happened. So when our ponytails got pulled, we got back to the table, and things were going okay. And it looked like there was going to be a deal, and things were really trucking along until the last minute, until the very last minute of the deal. And then at the last minute, there were some things added. And those things, I don't care if they were good or bad, you don't add a bunch of last-minute things to the deal. For example, you go to buy a car, and you're getting very close to the deal. You're getting close on price. You're getting close on financing. Now, the person who sold you the car, they're not exactly happy on the price. And you're not exactly happy with all the in a negotiation, a successful negotiation, both sides have to lose something. That's the thing, is that's what negotiation is all about. And we were getting very, very close at the end. But when you buy that car and at the last minute they say, okay, the deal looks like it's done. Now, a quick reminder, there's no rubber on those tires, okay? It's just the wheels that you get with the car. You'd say to yourself, wait a second, I don't get rubber tires? No, that's not part of this deal. Also, the windshield you have to put in yourself. And you think, I thought that was part of the deal. I thought that we had agreed that I was going to get the car. No, you're not going to get the tires, and you're not going to get the windshield. And that first tank of gas that I was going to put in there, that's not happening either. Well, I don't want this car anymore. And so you walk away from the deal. And essentially, in layman's terms, that is exactly what happened on Friday. Now, because we walked away from the deal, that means that Trump has put these tariffs on starting today. And Canada has said, we will react dollar for dollar. Thus, a real trade war has begun. Now, there is a caveat here. Now, our retaliation was not immediate, meaning we didn't fire back right away. In fact, our retaliation doesn't take effect until after September long weekend. And the media is not really talking about this. And I think we should, because that gives some breathing room. It was a very smart move. I think it was the right thing to do to walk away. When anyone changes a deal last minute for anything, I think you reserve the right to walk away. Sorry. That's just in any deal. So now where does it go? Well, their tariffs started. Ours don't take effect for 2 weeks. I think there's wiggle room there. And I believe that the answer is getting back to the table and kind of ironing this thing out. Here's how this is being sold south of the border.
Tensions between neighbors are at a new modern high as President Trump imposes 50% tariffs on a variety of Canadian imports. The talks collapsing late Friday, the Canadians walking out of negotiations with the U.S.
We cannot accept what they've offered, and we will not give what they've asked.
The Trump administration pointing to bans on the sale of U.S. alcohol in Canada, along with protections for Canadian dairy farmers.
We're moving forward with measures that respond to Canadian retaliation.
North of the border, leaders are rallying around the maple leaf and blasting President Trump.
He can't be trusted. Simple as that. He changes the deal. He keeps moving the goalpost.
The new U.S. tariffs will touch on just 5% of the Canadian goods that come south, but the list of affected products ranges from Canadian beer and whiskey to hockey sticks, furniture, textiles, and building supplies like cement. American importers will now have to pay a 50% levy to bring those items across the border, and their added costs are likely to be passed on to consumers. President Trump has said tariff is one of his favorite words, and earlier this month he said this about America's northern neighbors.
Canada's nasty. They are. They're nasty. People think Canada, they're nasty. People, I love the people, but they're nasty. Nasty leadership.
Canada's prime minister now vowing to fight back.
Canada will match Washington's new tariffs dollar for dollar in order to protect Canadian workers, farmers, families, and businesses.
Section 338 of the Smoot-Hawley Act, passed at the height of the Great Depression, allows the president to impose tariffs on imports from any country that he finds has discriminated against American commerce.
Now, to back up again, just real briefly, I think it's important two things. That it wasn't Trump that added this stuff at the last minute. It was Navarro and Lutnick. Those two names don't really mean a whole lot, but you know what? One thing I don't like about this whole kerfuffle on both sides of the border, this is Tyler talk now, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. When you got to get something done, we've got the premiers, we've got the trade negotiators, we've got the Team Canada crew, we've got the Team America crew, we've got this and that. Then he's got his group of people. There's too many people. We need to have fewer people involved in this, because what happened was on Friday, just before the deadline, Lutnick and Navarro came in and went, that we're doing this deal. This deal is no good. We should ask for more at the last minute. And then they were the ones that ruined it. And of course, Trump just, I went along with it. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many cooks in the kitchen. That's my opinion. Anywho, where do we go from here? So again, their tariffs kick in immediately. Our tariffs don't kick in for another 2 weeks. So the opposition in Canada has said that Parliament should be recalled so that this can be debated. Not a bad idea. It's a serious situation, especially if it escalates. And that's what everyone's worried about. And I think that's why it was smart we gave the Americans 2 weeks. We said, look, in 2 weeks, we're going to hit you back. This is not a slap for slap. We're going to have a delayed response. And I find it rather interesting, again, this is my commentary now, not fact, this is my commentary, that Donald Trump's reaction to the talks breaking down and to Canada hitting back was rather muted. He said that Canada wants to be treated like a 51st state without becoming one. And that really interested the Canadian media. They really took to that, saying, wow, maybe he doesn't want to take us over anymore. That was the thing all along, is that, the point he's trying to make is that our country is treated like a member of the family. Now, this is a serious family spat, though. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, we're a member of the family, but families can fight. Families can get really nasty with each other. And we're not at that point yet, but it could take a turn real fast. And it hasn't so far, because that's all he said. He didn't have a flame-throwing temper tantrum like he normally does. So that is positive. So we have a 2-week window. He didn't throw his tantrum. Doesn't look as if it's going to escalate at this point. So if it were me, it's not me. I'm hoping, here's where I hope, is that the Canadians will go back down there and say, look, there's a 2-week window before we hit you back. Are you sure this is the final deal? We need to we don't like those last minute things you threw in. And hopefully we can get that fixed before September kicks in. And then we can just get back to business as usual. Because, guys, the reality is that they are not just a massive country. They are a massive market. And half of my business, half personally, my studio, half of what I produce in Brandon goes south. Now it's digital audio, so I'm not affected by this. But there are some that are. And unlike me, where only half of my business goes to the United States, 90% of Polodsky's honey farm sells their honey into the United States. Did I pronounce that right? Podolsky's. And I know we've got Sunseekers from the Ethelbert area who will know who the Podolskys are. 90% of the honey that they produce up in Ethelbert, Manitoba, goes to the United States on this very truck. So when you add a 50% tariff to honey, which is part of that 5% that's going south, That's terrible. It's going to close them down. So the clock is running. Now the internet is jumping to the rescue, right? Everybody wants to know where the Podolskis are, how they can buy the honey, how they can save them from, and that will be a nice short-term fix. And then people online are saying, well, how come they don't sell in Canada? All the honey that I see is imported from all over the place. And that too becomes a complicated answer of supply chains, cost, and it's like my business. People will say, Tyler, why aren't you voicing commercials in Canada? You know what? Business works this way. You do business with people who are willing to pay you. Hard stop. And sometimes Canadians don't want to buy Canadian honey because they feel it's too expensive. Sometimes Canadians don't buy Canadian products because they feel that maybe it's too much money to spend. And that's fair. And that's what commerce is. Everybody has that ability to
shipped to the US.
buy what they want.
General Manager Ossie Podolsky says new 50% tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump threaten the farm's future.
If the tariffs aren't lifted, I can't afford to sell with this kind of a tariff. I would go bankrupt.
Marathon trade talks between Canada and the U.S. to avoid the tariffs collapsed Friday night. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Canada was pulling out of negotiations, saying the U.S. made unfair, last-minute changes to the deal. Podolsky says he's disappointed by the outcome, but not surprised.
When you factor the fact that we're losing one of our largest current customers and we're importing more foreign honey than we ever have, it's we feel helpless at this point.
In Selkirk, hundreds of people work at the steel mill. Steel has been under an existing 50% tariff. Selkirk's mayor wants to see more Canadian steel stay in the country while tariffs are on the table.
There's certain things that should have been worked on for a while now. And a big one is the amount of Canadian steel in Canadian projects. And it's sitting about 30%. And that is ludicrous.
Did you hear that? So again, it's not just my business. It's not just honey. It's even steel. Now we're going to rally. Now it's like when COVID, we appreciate our healthcare workers. Yeah, you're heroes. When there's a pandemic. And now there's going to be a massive Buy Canadian push. But 30% of new building projects in Canada have Canadian steel in them. What's the other steel makeup? The other 70%. Where does it come from? Because you're not the only one buying from Amazon or Walmart or Costco or cross-border shopping in America. Businesses do it too. Governments do it. These big projects. And it's sad that now we are being pinched. These Canadian steel makers, where only 30% of their steel are being used in Canadian projects, are being hammered.
That has got to change.
Manitoba's premier supports the Prime Minister's decision. Wab Kinew also says the trade tensions aren't going away anytime soon.
I'm sure there is a desire to get back to the table, but we should recognize that the Trump administration and the president are deeply flawed.
But see, that's not an argument. Like, he's going after the character of the person you're negotiating with. Now, he may be right. In fact, he probably is right. That's not helpful, man. Like, you're a CBC reporter. You have no experience in business. Please leave this to the grown-ups now. This is very serious, okay? And it's good you support the Prime Minister. I do too. I think we all do. But it's time for the grown-ups now. And unless you have something to contribute that's going to be constructive in solving this problem, it's probably best you sit that out, okay? Just go and maybe go fix a hospital or something. Dauphin needs their hospital open again, okay?
He's got 2 more years left in office. We should be prepared to duke it out for 2 years.
Now, see, and that I disagree with as well. We can't do 2 years of this crap. No, we cannot. People are still recovering from COVID stuff. It's going to be 2027. We're going to have 10 years that we've lost. We can't do this for 2 years. This problem needs to be solved. And I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Carney supporter, but I think that he is a guy. He seems level-headed, mature, and smart. He is the guy for the moment. We're not having an election anytime soon. Let's see what he can do. He's created this 2-week window. Let's see if we can get this solved. And he could come out a hero if he does get this thing solved in 2 weeks.
The Prime Minister says dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs will go into place after Labor Day. Both he and the Premier say support will be available for businesses impacted by tariffs.
And again, what does that mean? That's going to be like a COVID-style response. That's going to be... But that doesn't... I mean, that's the good backstop. That's a good backstop. But let's get this done. Calmer heads should prevail. And again, it doesn't look like there's escalation happening at this point. We'll see how the week unfolds. Maybe by Friday, things will look very, very different. But it's a tense, serious situation. And I think from Daniel Smith to Doug Ford to Wab Canoe, all of them, sit down and let the grown-ups handle this, please. This is very serious. Premiers, we understand. Yeah, we get you. We hear you loud and clear. But there's political theater happening, and it's confusing you as a citizen. It's confusing people in the public on both sides of the border, and it's like we need the grown-ups to just get this deal done as soon as possible so we can get back to normal. Because the biggest thing honestly, the biggest thing is this uncertainty that's happening. And to bring this back to, again, my business, of which I can only speak to, the uncertainty is horrible. I don't pay tariffs. My stuff goes into the States, but I'm not being tariffed right now. But my business is way off. I'm getting crushed right now. Why? People are scared. I could do a project for somebody, and then I'm going to end up saying, oh, by the way, you got to pay an extra couple $100 in tariffs. They get scared about buying anything from Canada. Even the fear itself is detrimental to what's happening. Sorry, I'm spending a little more time than I would have liked. I'm just babbling on. B. Moore says tariffs between provinces are a bigger problem. I don't know if they're bigger, but they certainly are a big problem. And probably as big as, for sure. I don't know if bigger because the economy is bigger, but it is a big problem. And they say they've tried to get rid of them, but they're still there. BM says the devastation if we duked it out for 2 years. Oh my God. Well, exactly. We can't do it. 2 years will be devastating, especially if this escalates. I'm not kidding. Like, you'll go to the store and we won't be able to buy food, and then things are going to get really serious. And we're not there yet. That's not even on the horizon. Let's stay calm. We're not pushing any panic buttons. Let's just stay calm. I wish that the adults could just get to the steering wheel and let's get out of this thing. Quinton says that price is a big factor. It's a double-edged sword. Projects go out for tender and the lowest bid wins. You're absolutely right. If American steel costs less, that's what'll be used. Sometimes the problem is Chinese steel. And one of the things that is a real sticking point right now is Canada. I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but Canada is used as a backdoor. The Canadian media don't like to talk about this, but what I can do is I'm going to bring in these pencils from China, and they're only 10 cents each. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Tyler Glen Show on there. I'm going to replace the cap with a cap from Saskatchewan. There we go. Canadian pen. Ta-da! Is it? Is it a Canadian pen? Most of this pen came from China. This is from Saskatchewan. And yeah, it says Tyler Glen. So things get very, very complicated. And I just wish that we could just get facts out, but it's and basic facts, but it takes a lot of work, and everybody has an agenda. I don't. I mean, I have a business. I would certainly like to keep my U.S. business afloat. It's probably going to suffer greatly. I don't know if COVID was a big shot for me, and I think this will finish me off, quite honestly. But I have this show, and I have you, and so, yeah, life will go on. Or maybe a deal will be done and things will rebound. I don't know. I think it's too early to call, but that's kind of where we're at. And so Canada has not retaliated yet. It's on the table, and as was confirmed in that report, it will happen after September long weekend. So we do have some time. And that Ethelbert honey farm, I bet you they're already sold out of honey, and that would be a very cool thing. Coming up this weekend at the Elkhorn Resort Clarso Nordic Spa, rev up the summer. We're going to move from the Carberry extravaganza to the Clear Lake extravaganza. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful weekend up at Riding Mountain National Park. The Rev Up the Summer event is happening on Friday. Goes from 5 until 8 p.m. Beer gardens, a car show, food trucks, live music. Hard to believe the Wheat Kings training camp starts on Thursday. Oh, God. Summer's slipping away. So let's get up for the car show up at the Elkhorn. The last rib night of August is on Wednesday at the Elkhorn. And don't forget about Thursdays at the Clarso Spa, elkhornresort.mb.ca. Headley's Health Hut, they've got Customer Appreciation Day coming up on Friday. It's always the last Friday of the month, and you can get extra special savings throughout the store. They've got samples, draws, specials, and you can visit with fine folks like our friend Crystal. Living Alchemy is a Canadian brand that makes fermented whole food symbiotic supplements. Their signature Your Flora line uses a traditional kombucha fermentation process on organic non-GMO soybeans, creating a food matrix with over 45 diverse probiotic strains, prebiotics, and postbiotics without synthetic fillers for isolated bacteria. Wow, that is some pretty intense stuff. If you are into probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, holy, they've got all the biotics. They're your biotic headquarters. Gluten-free, sugar-free, of course, they are chock full of supplements, vitamins, and more at Headley's Health Hut, 1314 Richmond Avenue in Brandon. And at Kuiper's Family Bakery, the best baked goods in all of Manitoba. They are Manitoba's favorite bakery for a reason. Whether you're getting garlic toast and buns for sandwiches, maybe you're going to get some big loaves of Texas toast white bread to put on the barbecue with your steaks this week, or maybe you just would like some butter tarts, or maybe you want some monster cookies, hot dogs, hamburger buns. If it's coming out of a baked oven, you're going to want to get it from Kuiper's Family Bakery, because they only use the very best in premium quality products into everything they bake. 1411 First Street, just north of the First and Richmond corner, next to Tasties. Well, this is kind of cool. So you're at Disneyland over the weekend, of course, in Southern California, and you're seeing the mascots at Disneyland. And, of course, that's a big deal. You're taking pictures, maybe a little bit of video. Of course, everybody's got their phones out. And then all of a sudden, in the background, you realize, hey, wait a second. I recognize that guy in the background. Take a look at this video here of a dad filming his daughter at Disneyland over the weekend. Take a look at this.
Watching the interaction. Take a look.
Oh, my God! That's Goofy.
There he is, actor Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Yes.
Just watching this whole thing unfold in the background.
Can be seen watching the moment unfold. This little girl's reaction meeting Goofy was obviously one to watch. The video was taken earlier this week at Goofy's kitchen at the Disneyland Hotel. Mom and comedian Lauren Powell joke that her daughter is more starstruck by Goofy than by Damon.
God, that guy looks exactly like Matt Damon. Well, he is Matt Damon, and that can happen in Southern California. Disneyland is a popular place, not just for tourists, but for locals too. They get a local discount. So Kardashians, I think they go once a week. You might see them there. That's kind of cool. And what's really cool is that he's like largely going unnoticed. Like no one is like accosting him for an autograph or anything like that. It's kind of cool. All right, coming up in hour 2 of the show, kids are going back to school, back to university, and there's an online trend called empty nest parties. Oh, are you up for a party? Empty nest party. Coming up. It's also Cheap Flight Week. That's what they're calling this, Cheap Flight Week, because travel season largely is wrapped up for most folks, and that means that airlines are trying to keep the cash flowing, and that could mean they want to make some sales before September hits. So is now a good time to book a Christmas vacation or your winter vacation? We'll take a look in hour 2. Also, the World Humanoid Robot Olympics. If you are not aware of what's going on here, this is some pretty wild stuff. It is pretty incredible. We'll take a look at that in hour 2. That's only for folks on the Twitch platform. You can lurk in at TylerGlenShow.com. If you want to watch or listen through the website, we invite you to do that. In the meantime, we have to cut the other folks off, kick you out. Goodbye. See you later, TikTok and X. Thank you for being here. You guys have a great Monday, okay? Thank you so much, YouTube. Have an awesome day. Breathe deeply. Everything is going to be awesome. We'll be here tomorrow. And, of course, coming up at 8:30, we've got Speaker's Corner. So any other questions, comments, concerns, that is about 30 minutes away. But you got to be on Twitch to be able to do that, okay? Speaker's Corner for questions, comments, concerns of stuff that we weren't able to touch on earlier this morning. It's a rapid fire question and answer coming up in 30 minutes. Check it out online, TylerGlenShow.com or twitch.tv/TylerGlenShow. YouTube, bye-bye.